Death Valley. Snow, mountain trails, exploration, adventure. In late January, it was time to skip out on a little bit of winter at home in Alaska. I checked the weather in Southern California and Nevada and decided that was the place to go. I packed a bag with some riding and camping gear, grabbed my helmet, and caught the red-eye flight to Las Vegas. After a $93 cab ride that I'll never take again, since Lyft is 3 times cheaper, I picked up my rented GS 1200 and hit the road. I grabbed a few groceries and was tickled to get out of town. My plan for the next couple days? I'm riding motorcycle, carrying my house and bed on the bike, and going to Death Valley. That's about all I had to know up front. I found some cool places along the road heading into Death Valley National Park. At first glance, you might think of Death Valley as a wasteland, a place that might have been destroyed beyond recovery many years ago. But a closer look will show you muted brown and pale plants scattered about in the most stunning palette of earth tone colors that you can imagine. Death Valley is believed to be the hottest place on Earth. It has had air temperatures measured above 130 degrees Fahrenheit multiple times. In 2001, Death Valley saw 154 consecutive days over 100 degrees. The hottest surface temperature ever recorded on Earth was there in Furnace Creek at 201 degrees. Average annual precipitation in the area is just under 2.5 inches, with recorded years seeing less than 3/4 of an inch. The lowest point in Death Valley is right here in Badwater Basin at 282 feet below sea level. Mount Whitney, the highest point in the contiguous United States, is only 84.6 miles away at 14,505 feet. After Badwater Basin, I visited Artist Palette. The spread of natural reds, pinks, yellows, greens, and purples here is incredible. I can only imagine how much more stunning it would be if you caught it in early sunlight. During my trip here, I saw temperatures ranging from mid-30 degrees at night up to about 70 degrees in the day. It was perfect. I pitched camp in the last bit of daylight near Furnace Creek. After a bit of supper, I was off to bed. On day 2, I packed up camp and decided to visit Ubehebe Crater first. I'll decide where else I go as the day wears on. As I left Furnace Creek, I ended up tailing 4 other motorcycles up to the crater. There, I met Keith and his group. They had planned a day of riding the 4x4 trails out from the crater ahead of them. Not being familiar with the area, and being worried about dropping my rented bike in the sand, which would risk me losing my $2,000 damage deposit, I had not planned to leave the pavement. I decided to follow them out to Racetrack. This turned out to be the best day of my ride. I told them I would be stopping to grab videos now and then, and not to wait on me or come back looking if I didn't catch back up. Tea Kettle Junction was a curious stop. And then the racetrack. This is a dry lake bed that is 2 miles wide and 3 miles long. One end is only 2 inches lower than the other. If you are interested in the curious phenomenon causing the tracks left by these stones, look up The Mystery of the Moving Rocks. Researchers tried to figure this out for over 60 years before they saw it happen in 2013. From here, I followed Keith and his group over Lippincott Pass. I dropped behind them a good bit because I made many video stops. There was no sand, but the large rocks made portions of this trail a bit challenging. I took my time and I did not drop the bike. The smile on my face here would have showed you why I came here. It's freedom, it's exploration. It leaves you with a feeling of wonder and awe at the world around you. I caught up to the guys ahead of me at Saline Valley Road and continued up the road. As we approached one of the mountain passes, we hit snow in the shadows. We took turns pushing each other up the mountain. My BMW was the heaviest and struggled the most out of the bikes. It seemed like we were almost to the top, and we knew that the other side of the mountain was in the sun and would be dry. "1,000 feet of elevation gain, and probably well over a mile later, we escaped the snow." It was an adventure. An hour or so after dark, we made it back to Furnace Creek, and I pitched camp again with my new friends. There, camp neighbors stopped by for some campfire entertainment. On morning 3, I packed up camp, said goodbye, and hit the road. I rode to Ridgecrest, California, and stopped by a fire department one of my coworkers was stationed at in the 80s, and then ventured up to Lone Pine to see Mount Whitney. I had enough snow to suit me yesterday, so this is all the higher I climbed. I rode over Alabama Hills Movie Road, a location used to film many old Western movies. My street taco lunch was outstanding. I took California Highway 168 toward Nevada from Big Pine. This was a paved high mountain pass road, very much well worth riding. I had to be pretty cautious over some ice in the shadows at elevations over 6,500 feet. The wild burros in Beatty, Nevada on my gas stop were pretty fun to see. I have to return this bike tomorrow, mid-morning. I decided to camp right close to Las Vegas for the night. Due to poor planning, I discovered on arrival, well after dark, that the campground required reservations and was full. Rather than looking elsewhere in the chilly night, I got a room and wandered around town for a while. I was starkly reminded that town is not my home environment. It was curious wandering around a bit out of place, but not really worth it. I was grateful the next morning for being able to hit the road early enough to get out of town again for a bit more riding before I turned in my rental and headed home. This is my happy place, winding through the country, listening to the hum of my engine, lost in reflection, feeling, and wonder at the world around me. Life is good here. In total, my trip was just a little shy of 1,000 miles. I will definitely be returning to Death Valley sometime in the future. I would encourage you, take that trip, make those connections, find a way to visit the places you haven't yet seen. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next adventure coming soon.